Hi. Howdy. Wow. Don't pay any attention to the idiot behind the curtain, all right? You know what? It's so good to be here. I hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. You know what? I did. Like on Friday night, I was the featured artist at Kinston High School for the Lenoir County schools uh, to get a Bible curriculum in their school as far as a election. So the students could actually elect the class if they wanted Bible history. And it had been going on for like 80 something years anyway. So, and the kids loved even my son took the Bible curriculum. As a matter of fact, I couldn't hardly get him to church, but he wanted to take the Bible history class years ago. He said he really enjoyed it. But I'm just telling you, we had a great time out there. And what about you guys out there? Before I get into something, go ahead on and like, and please share the link to a family member, a friend, someone that's really going through some difficult times today, all right? That's what we're going to be talking about, going through difficult times and how we can actually go through them. Some little tips that would help us out to be able to face some things that we're going through today. Like, you know what? I don't know about you, but even while you're doing that, go ahead on and subscribe to Keone Productions YouTube channel, all right? And you know what? It's good to be here today. um it kind of got me off when the time changed. Now I don't know if you guys had a time change moment, but this is like Saturday night and it dawned on me that the time was going to change. I'm saying like, no. Oh God, you mean to tell me instead of being now I'm trying to go to bed early for a change. So it's like 10 o'clock on the clock. It was really 11 o'clock. I'm saying, man, I really thought I was going to bed early and I still was going to bed late. It's funny. I can remember that time when I was working this job, and I said, "Now, I'm definitely gonna be there before everybody else be there this time." So I said, "Hey, we set the clocks back. You know, I don't even know if we set the clocks. I don't even think I remembered that anything about a time change. I just knew that I was going to be there and beat everybody there at work. And when I got there, the time had went up. So instead of me being an hour early, I was an hour late. Everybody had done most of the work for that morning, and they said, like, "Where have you been?" I'm saying, like, "What? How do y'all get here so soon? I mean, what's going on?" It's been a time change. Time went up. I mean, it was hilarious. It was funny. My whole day was like, "Uh, uh, uh, uh." I mean, I was just messed up the whole day. I don't know if any of y'all had any issues like that. If you have, hey Jimmy, how you doing? Hi. Thank you for thank you for listening to the show, and I really appreciate you being on this morning. You know what? I don't know if y'all ever had any kind of craziness go on like that, but I've had many accounts like that. And I'm telling you, it's just like the time change. I'm like, ugh. I can't get myself together even the more. I'm just totally, and when I get used to it, it goes back. I'm saying, oh. But anyway, I hope you guys having a great day out there. But I just want you to know that in the midst of everything that you may have going on, and some of us, you know what? Some of us are really going through some really tough times.
Part already. Oh yeah, by the way, when you say don't pay attention to the idiot behind the curtain, some people might think you're talking about me because I'm behind the curtain.
Well, then come on out. Come on out from behind
No,
the curtain.
um,
How about that?
but no, but some people are going through tough times. But then again, some people are making times tougher for themselves. You
So,
know, huh?
how so?
Anyhow, so how bad behaviors, bad tactics, not changing what they're doing. Some people are in financial hardships because they're losing their job or their pay got cut. fired or laid off, or prices are going up. And then some people are going through financial hardships because they're terrible at managing their money. I just talked to a friend the other day and he's like, "Can you help me with my light bill?" I'm like, "Well, you shouldn't have bought those Jordans that you bought last week, and then you can pay your light bill." You know, if your wife wasn't at the Gucci store on Instagram 3 days ago, you might be able to pay your light bill. So I do see both sides. You have the people who are struggling through no means of their own, and then you have the people that are causing their own struggle. And sometimes those people get lumped in together. We ain't talking about you. The
Right. We're talking about people
Yeah,
that are actually
yes.
struggling today. Like, I mean, to have all of a sudden have a job and it's totally
Hmm.
wiped off the face of the platosphere or the earth or whatever. It's
Oh dear
gone
God.
just like
Mhm.
that. That's a lot to put
So what do you do?
What do you do? Well, for one thing, you don't give up. That's the one thing you don't do is give up. You know what?
Hmm.
I have found out in my life that you have to keep going and and
Okay.
and and to find yourself, to I'm gonna tell you what, I can only tell you what has helped me. My life, I've gone through some tough times. I remember a time in my life when said what now, Keone?
Hmm?
Did you say something?
I didn't say anything.
Okay, because I thought you said something. But
No. I
okay,
said, what do you do? So
what
yeah.
I'm this is what you do. I remember when I had lost a job, and it was very hurtful to lose a job because you're trying to figure out what in the world are you going to do. So I said, Lord, how is this going to work for me? I got to pay my bills. Thank you, Jimmy. I mean, I have to pay my bills, and I got my children. I had two little children that I needed to feed. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to go out. And even though this may not be what I normally do, I'm going to go get a job somewhere. And I put my trust in God. I did. I had to because that kept me from doing some crazier things that I would have done. It kept me from doing like some stupid stuff, like running off the bridge and ending my life. You know, I would go to my family, ask my family if they could help. I would go to a friend, see if they. I would go even to my church, you know. But I remember I had a car payment due. I remember I had this car payment. I was like two payments behind in this car payment. And I knew that I could have, I have little crafts built up inside of me. I make things on the side and stuff. That's part of my employment there. But I knew I could have got myself all carried away in that. But instead, Keone, I I did something else to help somebody else. And I went to this service. And so here I am sitting in this service, in this church service. And they had this lady there. She was a prophetess. And she said, there's somebody in here that has a financial issue. I'm saying, like, yeah, that's everybody. Everybody, I'm saying, that's like everybody in here. Who in the world are you talking to? And then she came to me. She said, you have a financial issue. I said, yeah, I do. And what she did was she asked all the women it was a women's meeting, fellowship meeting. She asked all the women to be a blessing to me. I don't even know this woman. She don't know me. Okay. But I'm saying that before I left the meeting, God has supplied my need. That's just a little bitty example of miracles that God has done. I put my trust in God. That's what I do. And for those that may not believe in God, that's your choice. Then perhaps, your way is going to be made another way. But whatever you don't do is give up. I'm telling you, you cannot give up. I remember, going through difficult times, in that when you go through a tough and difficult time, Sometimes people around you, they may not know that you are going through a tough time. So I remember in my life just going through emotionally, uh, from a divorce, but it could be anything. Going through any kind of difficult time, and people around you going on with life like nothing's going on. I know how that feel. They don't feel your hurt and they don't feel your pain. I can definitely understand that. I see Clarence said if you make your
Says grandma. Oh, go ahead.
he said grandma said if you make your bed hard, you're gonna lie in it. A lot of hard times can be linked to decisions that we made. Yes,
Well,
I
Clarence,
made a bad decision to be with someone that I at the time shouldn't have been with, and that was not.
uh,
It didn't work out. However, 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 um, yes, Keone, you had something to say.
Yeah, Clarence just said. Clarence says exactly what I was talking about.
Right.
And sometimes, Clarence, what happens is, people read these motivational books or hear speeches, and they find themselves sinking because they get the same generic answers. Dedication, motivate yourself, keep it pushing, rise up, and we just throw these phrases out. And then I still sit there at the end of the day and I said, well, what do you do? Right. Um, and what a lot of people do when they have those hardships is they either get into depression or they get into panic mode, but you can't do either one of them. Right.
You really can't.
Um, One of the things that we're doing a lot better in the African American community, Black community especially, is
Hmm.
seeing a therapist, which was very looked down upon. When I was growing up or Lissette was growing up, it was just something you didn't do. Most of our insurances didn't cover it anyway. But now it's getting a little better, and we're seeing professional people, which is great. But budgeting what you got left, and like Lissette was saying, immediately get out there and look for something else. When you lose a job, you may want to be depressed. You want to make, but we don't have weeks to be
You
depressed.
really don't.
Yeah, you can be depressed and also fill out applications at the same time. So I'm not saying it to sound funny, but cry while filling out your application, right? Because the
Mhm.
person who does not care about your emotional state is the bank, the lenders, the credit card company, the light bill company, your car company. All of those people could care less. And it's not that all of them don't care, it's that you're not their only customer. You know, if I'm the bank that's got that you're making payments to your car, how many calls do you think I get a day of people who are going through something? So they get numb to it. The humans on the other end, they get numb to it. So you've got to be able to pick yourself up in a good amount of time. You don't have too much time to dwell on it because there are people who are going to lose their job and be immediately right back out there, and they're going to be ahead of you.
Absolutely. And it just like I said before, it may not be something that you normally would do, but the idea is to do whatever you need to do to help your family
Until you get where you need to go,
legally.
right, Lisette?
Say what?
Until you get where you need to go, right? I was talking to the almost that same person before they lost their job, and then they didn't have a job for 2 months, and then they kept complaining. I was like, well, she's like, well, I don't want to work at McDonald's or Subway, but I'm like, you don't have to stay there forever,
You
but you
really
can't
don't.
complain to me about you don't have any money if every job is beneath you.
I know. And I know it's not something that you normally do, and you're much more intelligent than, or I don't know if you want to call it an intelligent thing, but people that work at McDonald's are very intelligent also. I mean, sometimes it's just a stopover job, So, but I'm just saying that whatever it takes to provide for your family, because you have to have the faith to believe that this too is going to pass. If your mind is not conditioned, if you're thinking in the doom and this glump on the slump of things, it ain't gonna get no better. You got to do affirmations. I did my affirmations unto the Lord. I said, Lord, I know it's gonna get better. I know you're gonna bring me out. You got to say, I'm better than this.
Well, you have to because it's March. So that means it's March, April, May, June. We only got 3 months left before summer. So if you planning on doing summer vacation or going to the beach, you can't do it while depressed. So we got to get ready to start loading up this money again because summer is going to be here quick. Can you
It
believe
sure
it's
is.
March
It is.
already?
And I'd be glad when it comes. I'm sure it's going to come in like a hot thunder. It's going to be
We're,
very hot this year. I can tell.
we're
But you
already,
know what?
we're, go
Say
ahead.
what?
We're
But
already,
either way, we have, what? I was thinking what to say today, and I just all I can do is speak my heart.
I think you said it.
Yeah, no, I mean I said it. Yes, I did say it.
You were very clear too. You gotta keep it pushing. Wait, what did Clarence say? Some jobs I call meanwhile jobs. Yeah. So Clarence, that's the thing. You have to understand, people out there. There's a difference between a job and a career. No one's telling you to have a career at McDonald's or a
That's true.
career at Subway. I have people around me. Um, friends come over and they go, "It's so hard to find a job." And you've seen where I live. I'm surrounded by so many stores and places, and
Hmm.
everywhere I look in the dang window, it says hiring, 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 hiring. You can do something. It may not be what you want to do. February was a rough month for a lot of people, Lisette.
Yes, it
Uh,
was.
I don't know if you heard the news yet, but we know Gene Hackman died
Yes,
in February, and so we didn't talk about it because more things have come out. So Gene Hackman, as everybody knows, played Lex Luthor and a whole bunch of other roles in the original
did a great
Superman movie.
job.
But he was suffering from severe Alzheimer's,
Hmm.
and it is kind of sad because what happened was his wife died first. She died
Wow.
in the bathroom while trying to take medicine. Um, and this is why you always wait for news to come out because since they found her with scattered pills on the ground, everybody assumed
Hmm.
she must have overdosed on something. But no, she was suffering from the hantavirus.
Mm.
The hantavirus is transmitted by rat droppings, which there were rats on the property, and it has a 38
Goodness.
50% mortality rate. So
Mm.
she eventually died by that, and then him having severe Alzheimer's, it was assumed that he didn't even realize she was dead. And 2 days later, he died because there was no one to take care of him. They were found by maintenance workers, but it was too late as they got there. Um, I'm going to tell you like this, especially if I have Gene Hackman money. If I get severe Alzheimer's, don't tough it out for me and keep me home. Go put me in a home where they can take care of that. I do not want to be home. And I know a lot of people feel like that, which I'm not discouraging that. If I get old enough to be really, really sick, and I know some of these, I take that back because I know some of these nursing homes can be terrible.
They
What you
are a
gotta
lot of
do,
them.
you got to do your due diligence in investigating. And I find a lot of people who end up in terrible places, it's when the people in charge of them just want to get them somewhere. They
Well,
just go to a nursing home, find it, and stick them there.
well, you know what? Sometimes it's like you say, you can do all the investigation you want to, because I know of someone that actually did their investigation and come to find out it was a house of horror. You know, um, End up leaving with several bed sores,
Mhm.
and may have come there with one, end up leaving with maybe like 15 more. It's ridiculous. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
you gotta be thorough. Like I was
It,
looking at it made me prompt to look up some things, and like this woman, and I don't want to give the name of the place because again, I don't need people suing me. She Interviewed the doctor. Her family came. They toured the
Mhm.
place. They said it was a great place to go in. They looked at the reviews. The reviews were great. You know, they looked at the Yelp review, the Google reviews. But when you go on a couple of other red sites like Reddit and BBB, you find all of these horror stories from this place. It
Yes.
literally took me it literally took me 10 minutes to
Hmm.
find all of the horror stories on this place, but they did their own investigation for about 2 3 days.
Ain't that something?
Yeah,
And sometimes people don't know how to investigate these places. But I'm telling you, this
there we
place was
go.
absolutely a horror in the sense that, they would tell me how that they would, go to the place and also nice. They were so nice and sweet, and all the while they was bullying the person, being mean to them, and they were put on this front while the family was there. So I don't know. Sometimes you know what, and it's hard to. I've been to a lot of nursing homes, and it's hard to find one that is really doing what they say that they're doing or they're supposed to be doing. They put the front on that they are, but they're behind the scene. Even when you go and check on your loved ones, if you don't actually pull back the sheet and look at their limbs and bones and do stuff, you're gonna find some stuff out
Yeah, you got to
later
not
on.
have your blinders on. It's what I call complacent and doing the bare minimum. Like they look happy, everything looks happy. All right, great visit, and then you're out of there, right?
Can't do that. It's like Little House of Horrors, So I have gone to some nursing homes and seen some people, and I've seen some people come up, walk to me with Alzheimer's, say, "Please get me out of this place. This place is horrible. Please don't leave me." I mean, I'm saying, like, are they really, you know, have dementia, or do they really? Are they really saying what they're saying is true? It's pitiful. And the pitiful thing is that uh, uh, um, we're not even sure what's going to get cut in these nursing homes, whether they're going to be able to stay in any kind of home. It's sad. It's really sad, very very sad. So I see Jimmy said, Lisette and Clarence have a head. Yeah, okay, all right. We
Well,
love you.
well, you got to let it come on the screen.
Okay, love you guys. Great job. Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate you stopping by. Have a safe trip. It's really interesting, because I mm, mm, mm. It's all of this stuff is on the minds of people right now today. Even the veterans are going through right now. Everybody in the whole country are at limbo and trying to keep from being depressed and trying to keep from going over the rocker because
Some
stuff
of them
like
are, and some of
Reagan.
them are. We do have to watch the dangers of nothing burgers, though. So
For sure.
that's and for those who don't know, I'm talking about nothing burgers. A lot of the things that are happening or said to be happening aren't actually going to happen or is happening. So we got to make sure we not getting depressed about things like a certain someone, and we don't get too political on the show, but a certain someone writing a bunch of executive orders that aren't getting passed because they're just executive orders. Executive orders aren't laws, and sometimes those things are written to cause chaos and depression, and then it doesn't happen. But it's used as a mean. Let's get off of death for a second. Um, hey, you know this lady?
I sure do, Cabernet.
Yeah. So she is now 90. And, we talked about, getting older and some people not being able to age gracefully, but then some people are. And so she's 90 and she's trying to get into more active roles again because why not?
Why
Right?
not?
Right now. It was one of the funniest people on TV, and I used to love watching the Carol Burnett show. Did you watch the Carol Burnett show growing
Yes,
up?
all the time. I'm so glad we had this time. Ain't that good? Yes, Lord. I loved her. I loved her show.
No fair. You get to use your singing chops. I can't say that's. I'm
You
at a
know,
strong disadvantage
I mean,
when it
I
comes to
really
singing.
love the show. She's funny. I love laughter and I love comedy. It's interesting that you would say how sometimes we say, well, we're afraid of stuff that are not going to happen, and it reminds me of the scripture that says, uh, uh, "Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will feel no evil." And just to remind you that it says the shadow. And a lot of times when a shadow comes after you, whatever is on the other side of the shadow is a lot smaller than the actual shadow. So like you say, a lot of things look bigger than what they are, you
Yeah.
know.
So she had a lot of people that spawned from that show. Remember Vicki Lawrence
Mhm.
sung two of my favorite songs. The lights went out in Georgia, but she also, a lot of people don't know, she did the original version of "Killing Me Softly" that Roberta
Did
Flack
she?
made. Oh yeah, and if you look up the version, it's really good. It's
Okay.
so good that we talked about it with Bill Myers, and Roberta Flack was on a plane when they gave her the song,
Hmm.
and she listened to Vicki Lawrence's song. She said, "Well, why do I need to do this song? This song is perfect." Who would have thought you could make something perfect more perfect, right? But of course, Roberta
Right.
Flack. So that's a big compliment from Roberta Flack to say, "I don't want to sing this song. It's already perfect." And then she went and did another version, and it was even better. But that Vicki Lawrence, you'll if you listen to the Vicki Lawrence version of "Killing Me Softly," you'll be able to tell
Hmm.
why Roberta Flack said the song was perfect. But Vicki Lawrence also did Mama's Family, and I had no idea because Betty White spent time on the Carol Burnett show. I had no idea that Betty White was actually older than Carol Burnett.
I didn't know that either. Isn't that something? I mean, they really carry themselves very well, and these just like Dolly Parton. She's such a great joy and a light. The way she just um, full of joy and laughter. Even
Oh, you like you some
oh,
Dolly Parton? All
huh?
right, you like you some Dolly Parton? Okay, I
I
see.
love I love Dolly Parton.
In our last bit of celebrity news, yes, folks, we did the doom and gloom first. Is this lovely lady Cheryl Lee Ralph? Um,
Yes,
if you
yes.
don't watch Abbott Elementary out there, you are missing it. On Hulu, Abbott Elementary is a very, very, very funny show. She plays Barbara on the show. They just wrapped up their last season. And uh, FYI, my best
Mhm.
friend is her costume designer. So my best friend is the one who dresses her when she goes
Oh,
on every episode.
super. That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow, all these beautiful, beautiful actresses. I'm telling you, they are awesome. I love them all. And they set the stage, set the way for all of us that would like to come up in their field. Absolutely gorgeous. I like Angela Bassett. She's one of my favorites.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. Angela Bassett's one of my favorite actresses of all time.
I mean, with that Tina Turner thing, if she didn't play that, she did an excellent.
Oh, she should have got an Oscar for that. That was so annoying. She's on my Mount Rushmore. I don't. I have my Mount Rushmore of female actresses. You just saw one, Shirley Ralph. Actually, you just saw two. It's Shirley Ralph, it's Carol Burnett, it's Angela Bassett, and it's Meryl Streep. Those are my big four. And my Mount Rushmore has five because I have to put Kathy Bates on it. So
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
you'll love
I
me some
mean,
Kathy
I,
Bates.
I just I just love these ladies for standing for excellence, even black excellence. I think it's just pretty awesome. And you know, it's just like when you enjoy something that you really enjoy, that you enjoy what you really enjoy, but you enjoy what you really do. Um,
What did you just say? That
I don't
messed me
know.
up.
Messed me up too.
I was
Um,
waiting for the hair to go all over the place when you said that, but I think you got through it.
but
No, she did it anyway.
I don't know. I mean, it's very interesting. just like you said, you got to be able to laugh about things. You have to, because I love to laugh, and it keeps me going. I love to find the humor. Sometimes when I've seen times I've gone to like the emergency room, and I'd be in the emergency room and they'd be saying, well, this, that, the other, your pressure. I said, my pressure is what? I said, wow, that's pretty bad, ain't it? Now I'd be telling jokes all up there in the emergency room, and before no, I mean, I feel so much better.
You not only feel better, is you understand when people are at work, like just like when you're at work. When I understand when people are at work, it's not always the happiest thing of that day. So just telling someone, I get so much better treatment from. I'm already in pain. I'm already in misery at the area. So why make everybody else miserable when you know how they do the pre-screening and they ask you all those questions like your pain
Yes.
level. Every time they go, for some, not every time, but sometimes when they go, have you been out of the country in the last 18 months? I'm always like, does Alabama count? Because that place seems like a whole different country, and they're like, no, it doesn't count.
That's
And
that's funny, and
you make them smile.
it's just hilarious. I remember, I remember, I had this appointment, and these people, of course they're gonna, it's kind of, it's kind of crazy, and if I say it, people are gonna say, well, you're pretty off, But I remember when my mom, she was transitioning, and the nurse came to me and she said, she's, just speak to her because she's transitioning, and she said, well, is she? I said, what you mean transitioning? She's passing. I said, like passing, like death passing, and she looked at me, I said, because I knew what she was saying, but that was my way of trying to get out of the hurt of it all, because I made a little joke about it, which it wasn't funny. By no means was it funny, but that
Well,
was my way of coping.
comedy comes through pain. They always say the best comedians had usually the most trauma. Um, Comedy is a mechanism that we use to get out of that. So it's not out of, insensitivity.
Right.
It's not like you were making light of the subject, but that's how you were, were coping. My lieutenant got his leg separated
Mm.
in Iraq, and then we were at the hospital. I think we saw him like 2 weeks later, and the nurse said he hadn't said a word since he's been in there.
Wow.
So we're all standing around the bed and everybody's just sitting there. Nobody knows what to say. And then finally I just go, sir, you and I can't argue anymore. He's like, why? I said, because you ain't got a leg to stand on. And everybody gasped in horror, but he laughed. What do you want him to do? He's in the bed already with the leg missing. Like,
Oh, have mercy.
everybody's in here doom and gloom is
You
not going
have
to bring
to.
his spirits back up.
You got to lighten it up a little bit, because believe it or not, life is going to go on. I mean, you might be hanging on a little string, but it's going to go on. And you know what? You got to give it your best shot. You
Time
got to
waits
give it
for
your
no man,
best.
right?
Absolutely right. It
Or
wastes
woman.
on old woman. Don't waste on nobody. I mean, so you got in the quick of the quick. You got to find your niche in the quick
Mhm.
of it all. You got to find something. Even in tough times, people have actually birthed new businesses and new ideas and new inventions in the midst of a tough time.
Also new births, the way you say it. I've had so many people, they get laid off and they have two more, they have another kid. I'm like, wait, you weren't supposed to be creating more financial hardships while you were at home looking for a job.
They found something to really have a good time about about being home.
Oh,
That's kind of funny, because even in the children of Israel, um, they ended up even up getting more children under depression. They're getting a whole lot of more babies. They had to figure out,
yeah, it's what
the king had to
happens.
figure out a way to get
Mhm.
rid of them all.
Oh, we just had this happen in 2020. Remember the COVID babies? All the people who were born in 2020, bless their heart, because when they grow up, people are going to refer to them as the COVID babies.
And they said them COVID babies were strong too. I mean, they did some of the weirdest things. climbing over the cribs at early age, talking and stuff, having teeth in my
Who
voice.
says who says that?
I mean, I've seen.
What I need to Clarence, what news or YouTube videos do you have Lisette watching?
Honey, I be up late sometimes watching stuff, and I be laughing, although I just finding a reason to laugh because laughter is good. I mean, you're gonna have to lighten up to live. You're gonna have to lighten up to live on this planet. I'm telling you, because life is funny.
Oh yeah,
Life is funny.
oh, all you have to do is go outside one day and just observe people around you, then you have a whole comedy show that you can put on yourself, right?
I, I absolutely agree. I mean, I think there was, it's interesting sometimes, just like the other night, I was laughing to my with my husband. I said, "Now I'm the featured artist at this show, which was pretty cool. And being the featured artist, you get a chance to watch everybody else sing before you. And when I went out there, I'm saying like, well, where's everybody at? They left. So it's not always a good thing to be the featured artist. Sometimes you're saying like, well, I don't want to be the featured artist. I'm just joking though. But really, it was pretty awesome though, honestly. But life is funny.
She wasn't joking, y'all. She was
Life is
dead serious.
hilarious.
Yeah, she
I
had to
mean,
throw that.
really,
She had to throw that. I was joking, and then we know what she did there. We know what you know. We know what you did there, Lisette.
it was hilarious. But in it's just that I mean, I could tell you so many jokes. It's a shame. I could just
I know
just
you
tell you.
could. Your next show, which will be the last Monday of the month, you're going to have a couple of guests on. You're going to have Clarence on. You're going to have Harold from the conversation. You're going to have Pastor Ray Jordan on.
Okay.
And it's going to be a full house as we dive into televangelists.
Yes, that's going to be very interesting. That's going to be a very interesting topic. So I want to make sure you guys tune back in.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's a very polarizing topic.
Yes, it can be.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
very polarizing topic. So definitely going to look forward to that. A lot of people, a lot of people
Uh-oh.
left, but a lot stayed. Of course, they start hearing her wail and they turn around. Give me take my coat back. I'm going back to sit down. Who is that in there?
Oh. I
You
mean, it's interesting how you can be very disrespectful to someone. And you ever seen somebody that sings and never stops singing? They just take the song and go, knowing that there's a whole lot more people on the show, and they just sing on and on and on and on and on, and then leave. Very disrespectful.
are you talking about the artist or are you talking about the
The
crowd?
artists, the artists.
Oh
You
yeah,
know.
depending on if they, depending, if it's an artist that some of these people have stuff booked, like they're doing a late show, but then they have a concert or somewhere to sing the next day, midday. But if that ain't happening,
Mm-mm.
you should stay. Eh, I think also people. What day of the week was was the event?
Friday.
Oh, that's a good day because a lot of people work Monday through Friday, but we know there's people, of course, that work on Saturdays. But um, what happens is when you have a singular person thinking of themselves and not in a selfish way, like it's been a long day at work. It was rougher than I thought. I got a slight headache. I'm going to stay in here as long as I can. All right, I've had enough to go home. But hey, that might be 10 people having that same thought. So now you got 10 people leaving instead of one.
And it wasn't
So
so much the people, it was the artists, and I'm saying like, okay, that's fine, it's all good. I understand little children that's got to go back home, but those cute little
maybe they
children
don't
were
want to. Maybe they
awesome.
don't want to hear you out singing them, Lisette. Maybe
But
they.
it was awesome because them kids were bad. Them kids could sing, and they sung it. I mean, they sung this song. They didn't have to go over 5 and 10 minutes singing one song.
Oh
They
Jesus!
were bad. They were bad. It was awesome. There was some two guys up there on the show. They were awesome too. They only did one song and tore the house up. I mean, and then there's a few that just sang on and on and on and on, and and then they left, you know. Um, but yet they were absolutely. I enjoyed every singer. I enjoyed
Speaking
them.
of kids that you brought up, one of the things about the topic that you were talking about today is um, parents who don't understand that kids have rough times too. Kids have bad days, right?
Absolutely, they do.
They have days where they may have woken up a little bit behind the time. Then they get to class. I remember one time going to school, and this is one of those rare occasions where I actually did all my homework and I left it all at home. So of
Mm,
course I went through about 4 sessions of the teachers going, "Yeah, yeah, you didn't do your homework." Then I had an argument with they could have an argument with a friend. Then they didn't have really good practice after school, and then they get home and you're already barking.
ain't that something? And you're right. Kids do have a tough time. As far as that go, my little dog has a tough day.
Oh, here we go. We're gonna talk about your hamster.
No, my little Jack Russell, because my husband was trying to feed him something. He almost tried to bite my husband. I mean, he was having a bad day. I mean, wanted baby. I mean, he was having a very, very tough day, But and I
No,
said,
that's
"Gosh,
what
I didn't know you had
I
tough
think
days
they
like
got what
that."
I meant when they said that hamster. The people with the little dogs be so cute. How old is he?
He's about 13 years old,
Uh-oh.
but I tell you what, he's a feisty little man. He don't play. I mean, he will tear you up at
Aren't the little
13,
ones
14.
always feisty?
Yes, absolutely.
Jack Russells, they just look feisty, Lissette. They just
They are
always.
grouchy. You know what? I've seen my little dog stand to the window and bark at an old woman. I mean, you can see the little muscles on the back of his legs standing there, like
They
I said, she's old woman. She's not gonna
they
bother you.
they look cute, but they also look like you know. They always say something looks cute, but if you really, really look at the picture long enough, you can just see it. You
You
can
know what? This little
see it.
dog, he barks at everything. The lady happened to have been, oh no, he ain't that sweet. He's got
No,
muscle.
no, that's what I'm saying. I'm looking in these eyes. That dog ain't sweet. That dog is a terror.
He sure is. He's got muscle in the back of his little legs, and he walks like this, like he owns the whole world. He gonna tear the whole world. I remember I took that dog walking down the street. We went walking, and as we were walking down the street, there was this other dog, and he was like a big, uh, what was like a what you call that dog that's got the big head?
That could be a
Pit
lot. That could
bull.
be a bulldog, a pit bull, yeah,
He
Rottweiler.
was a, he was a pit bull, and all of a sudden we walking. He comes walking up behind us real slow. I'm saying like, "Oh snap!" And my little dog like, "Ruff, ruff, 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 ruff." I said, shut it out, shut your mouth up. I said, "You're gonna get us all in trouble like that." What I mean? And it's so funny because, it's funny because he didn't, when he saw the other dog, he kind of like, "Go get him." I said, "No, you started it. You started. You do it." I said, come here." I said, "You better leave me alone." And every time we would walk, he would walk up behind. I said, "Go on about your business now. I'm warning you." Like that. So I took out my mace and I just sprayed him. And he went over there and the grass turned all over and
What?
rolled all in the grass and stuff.
What is
And,
happening?
huh?
No, I'm just when you start telling the story, ignore me. It's just your stories are fascinating.
But
Ignore me.
he was rolling in the grass. And I said, "Come on, Jack, hurry up. Let's hurry up and walk on. Go on our walk." So I said, "We got him, didn't we, Jack?" I said, that showed him he's not gonna mess with us anymore. Not knowing that I had to take that same way back home. Walking back home, and he's standing there waiting for us. I said, oh Lord. "Jack, what we gonna do now?" I said, "You better go on. You better go on about your business now." I mean, we didn't go walking that way no more. Okay, all right. That was the end of that. That was not going to happen. So I'm just telling you, my dog be trying to get me in trouble but I'm not gonna let him get me. He's always think he's gonna. He barks at people way down the street, little kids. Nobody even hears what he's talking about. But he's a trip. He really is a trip. Now I'm telling you, he had surgery recently, and they had to cut a mass off of him, because they thought it was cancer. But they believe they got all the cancer off and everything.
Hmm.
But he's going around acting like he owns the place. I mean, he's doing a lot better.
Isn't that what little dogs do?
That's what they do. Little bark, you know, little bite, more bark, I guess.
You said a
But
little bite, more bark.
yes, it's kind of crazy, but I love the little gremlin. He doesn't like my music. I told y'all that one time when I sings, he takes his little ears and throw them back like that. Like, I don't want to hear that. You let me get out of here. So whatever, get out then. But you
You said
know,
the dog doesn't like your music. That's
no, he
crazy.
doesn't. When I gets to singing, he's going like he stands to the door like, please let me out, and his ears like he goes back like that. I don't want to hear that. I said whatever. I mean, hey Ken, how you doing? Hi Ken. But that's the way it is. That's how it goes. I find stuff in life. For you out there, find stuff in life to laugh about. You probably say ain't nothing to laugh about. Yes, there is. There's some stuff to laugh about. Laugh at yourself. I laugh at me, because I think I'm a trip, and hey, I laugh at myself.
That was an actual accident that I just did. I wasn't even doing that to tie into the laugh at yourself and be funny. But hey, it worked out. It worked out. You know what we haven't had in a while? I'm not
Oh.
queuing you up for one, but we haven't had one of your crazy dining stories in a while. Um,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
Ken's here. Ken did a Ken was so good on our last show, even though he gave me an aneurysm.
I
He
know. I
was
was I,
good
I was watching.
on
Yeah.
our last show that it was the first time we ever went that far over an hour. It was a 2 hour
Mm-hmm.
show. We never do a 2 hour show um, on there. And it's funny because a lot of people were commenting, um, whether younger or older, in disagreement. And you know what I tell people all the time? Um, whether Ken knows it or not, he's an activist.
Yes.
And, me and my uncle, we talked afterwards and we were like, my uncle was talking about when he was an activist at 20, 22. The thing is, when you're an activist and you're between 20 and 28,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of range before you get closer to 30,
Mm-hmm.
you have all the passion, drive, and all the things that you need to be an activist. But sometimes our thinking as an activist in our 20s is different, of course, in our 30s and 40s.
Uh-huh.
That goes without saying. It's just a natural thing, no matter how much you fight it. But I remember when I was doing activism at between 20 and 25, and some of the things that I was doing was dead on correct. And now when I look back, I'm like, I cringe sometimes at some of my 20 to 25-year-old activism. The good thing I didn't have is I didn't have social media. So none of that stuff's recorded. Because if you had heard some of the stuff that came out about the 20 and 25, it sounded great. And now I'm
Mhm.
looking back, I'm like, you idiot. Yeah.
I feel you. I mean, absolutely. I mean, I can definitely see the activist in him. I can see that. Because he has a desire, to for change. I think that's awesome. Go for it. Amen.
That's why you need young people. It's not that you get older people and they don't have a desire for change, but you do get a lot of people who they spend so much time talking about how it used to be instead of trying to make how it is now work.
There we go.
How it used to be is gone. It's never coming back. So you get, and then a lot of things on how we used to be. We look through those what do they call it? The rose-colored lenses or whatever. Nostalgia. Things
Hmm.
were always better back when. But when you really sit down long enough and think about it, everything that you're saying was better back then wasn't better back then.
Now that's true. But you got the opportunity every time you wake up in the morning, you got an opportunity to make things better.
I have an opportunity to go back to sleep.
Where I don't. I mean, I gotta stay up, and I gotta deal with this little dog, and I gotta deal with some other stuff I got laid before me. So,
Don't they? You leave Clarence alone. That's the other stuff. I know what the other stuff is.
well, now I didn't have to. I wasn't gonna try to tell you everything, but yeah, I mean, hey, but it's all good because that's a part of life. We deal with stuff. If you ever give up, not stop dealing with stuff, you're probably gonna be out of here. You're gonna be gone.
Oh my God, I missed this comment. He would rather go out in the rain than to hear her sing.
He would. He would rather. But a lot of times I holler just that much louder. He can't stand me. And then I cut the microphone on top of it. And then he really can't stand me.
That poor dog. That poor
You know
dog.
what I
Yeah.
did one day? One day he was part of my it's kind of interesting because I see sometime on social media this little dog that get cast, the demon gets cast out of him because he's going like this. So my little dog was part of my little healing line. I said, stand there now, Jack. And I rubbed the anointing oil on him. I said, you're gonna be a good dog, ain't you? And I prayed for him, and he went out in the spirit. He said, don't know. He said, don't be playing with me. You push me down. He said, but he's a cute little dog. He's my little criminal, my little partner in crime. What he is. That's what he is. He's precious. Good and terrible is more like it. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, he's special. Really is.
My God.
So how's your legs doing? How your leg doing now, Kim? How things going?
We are I said we are, as if my leg isn't, part of me, right?
Right.
It's doing great. It's doing, I mean, it's doing as well as it can do. You know, it's doing as well as it can do. But
See,
this was a good show today.
great, because for you that don't know, Keone, he had hurt his leg and he's been going through with that.
Oh, here we
But he's
go.
making it work.
I was trying to blow by it. You brought it right back.
He's making it work. And you know what? When life serves you lemons, you know what you got to make?
Lim,
Lemonade.
nope, you got to make Arnold Palmer.
So what?
You got to make Arnold Palmer.
What is that?
Half tea, half lemonade.
Now that's good. I love that. I love myself some lemonade tea. That's pretty good. So you got to work it, people. You know what? You got more strength in you than what you think. It really does. You have that inner strength in you, no matter what you're going through, to make it work, to make you put your determination on. And you
Some,
possibly you don't know what you're talking about. Put your
some of you ain't worth two pennies.
don't listen to him. Put your blinders on. Don't listen.
Some of you ain't worth two pennies.
No, you're worth more than two pennies. You're worth a whole lot.
I'm
You know.
just keeping it real. Lisette's here to motivate you. I'm here to tell some of you about yourself.
Don't listen to that foolishness. I mean, because honestly, you're gonna make it. You're gonna make. Think about the tough times you've been through in the past, and at that moment, you didn't think you was gonna make it, and you made it, and you're gonna make it again. Honestly, there's a way out. It's like a little rat, a little mice in a little trap. There is a way out. There's a way of escape. Listen, listen to God. Listen to your heart. Listen to that calling in you. Listen to your family that needs you. And you're going to find that way out. You are. I'm telling you. Hmm. Can I get an amen?
I love
What?
men.
So what? I'm telling you, don't give up. Don't give up and don't quit. In the midst of all the mess, find something that you really love to do. Laugh.
Are you
Laugh
trying to
sometimes.
tell me that you've been through the fire, but the smoke is not on you? Is that what
It's
you're trying
not.
to tell me?
Because if I look like what I've been through, I'd be broken down, ugly looking. I'd be in an insane asylum.
Ken, Eye of the Tiger. I hate you so much, Ken. Now that stupid song's gonna be stuck in my head all morning long.
Oh, you can't. You know what? It reminds me of that wicked old witch on the Wizard of Oz. It's not Glinda, it's the other sister. Just not
Y'all,
Glinda.
y'all are so listen. I love the motivation, but I just have caveats to everything. Sometimes people just need a word of encouragement, a smile, a kind word, and a listening ear. And some people need a kick in the ass.
Yeah, they need that too. All of it mushed up together. But don't nobody bring me no bad news. You say, look,
Okay, now we're quoting the Wiz. That's the end of the show.
the
We're quoting the Wins.
whiz. Don't
Uh,
bring me no bad
what
news.
does she say? If you're gonna bring me something I can use, but don't
Eh,
nobody bring me no bad
No
news.
bad news. Don't do it. Don't do it. And thank you for being on the show today. We love you. And don't forget to subscribe to Keone Productions YouTube channel. Don't forget to share this. Somebody needs a laugh today. And come tune back in on Monday, which is March to what is it, Keone? March to
It's the last Monday in March.
last Monday in March, whatever that Monday is, last Monday in March. Tune back in because we got a great discussion coming. When some more guests going to be here on the show. All right, we love you. Go out there and tackle the day.
I love some of you.
You gotta love everybody now. Come
No,
on now. I didn't say like them. You gotta love them.
no.
Come on.
There's two people in my life I will never love. Nope.
Oh my God. Who?
I'm not gonna say their names.
Eh,
Ken, no, I'm just kidding. I love
oh
Ken.
Lord.
No, I love me and Ken have a made up rivalry. No, Ken's my dog. Ken's my
Y'all be doing this together. Be awesome. I love it. Even you and I love it when you throw it back at me. Throw it back to me.
Whoa. I don't think that means what you think it means, Lisette.
Oh, it don't.
No,
Oh, okay. That's just
we're
what
not.
I meant then.
Clarence, me and Lisette aren't throwing anything back at each other. I
No,
promise you. She has
no,
no
we're
idea what the
not
lingo
that
means
way.
these days. We're signing off. Goodbye.